Foxtrot, Charlie India traffic. Max 09 Foxtrot, Delta Lima 219er. Taking off runway tree. Left close traffic, Kilo Foxtrot, Charlie India.
Hey man, that's awesome. It was good. I'll probably check it out when it comes on streaming, or if I go to my sister's house and my nieces are watching it. I love their CGI films. I'm sure. Well, hopefully the parents will be able to enjoy the film as well. Sometimes it's not the best when you have to go see a movie that you know you're not going to like. but you're doing it for the good of the family. Man, I hope PlayStation eventually releases a flight stick for this. I need to look to see if they have one. I know they have the PS4 one. Yeah, I think they're going more for spectacle, so I can overlook that. I'm not expecting it to be like the Citizen Kane of video game movies. Honestly, I feel like shows are becoming like the better format for game-related media since they have more time to flesh out the stories, especially with the more mature rated games or more mature themed. I don't know how they keep screwing up Silent Hill. I mean, all they have to do is like paint by numbers, just follow the game. Same with Resident Evil if they're struggling. I'm surprised they jumped to Galaxy with the Mario movie. I thought they would have started with Mario World or something. Yeah, I'm surprised it hasn't overseas at least. Because the characters are iconic. I mean, they make it into the King of Fighters games that SNK also makes. I couldn't see it being like a huge studio movie, but I can definitely see it having like a OVA anime or something like that. I'm actually shocked that they haven't, because I know SNK does like anime stuff with like Fatal Fury and stuff like that. Probably King of Fighters. I don't know. I just remember seeing like the box covers at the video store. Yeah, for sure. Especially if it was hand drawn. That's one thing that's sad about like when I watch the stuff my nieces watch. Nothing's like traditionally drawn anymore. Everything's like CGI. Even the stuff that looks 2D is really like 3D renders, and they put like a cell shading like filter on it so it looks 2D. I think X-Men 97 kind of had that style. At least it did in the trailers. Very few studios get that look right. Plus, there's just something endearing knowing that it was like drawn by hand. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely room for both, but you know how anything that makes money is. They're just going to make more of that. Like they created like a loop on the third CGI movie, and if I heard that, I'd be against it because I love like the animation, but like I watched it, it wasn't bad, but I still feel like the animation should exist. Yeah, I guess in a way that's still kind of computer generated imagery. It's just trying to look like more like photorealistic. In the future, though, it'll be seamless. So even if you don't want it, you won't know the difference unless it explicitly says it. It's crazy how fast it's already improved. Remember like a year ago with like YouTube Shorts, you could like use AI for the videos, but you couldn't have audio. Now it randomly has audio. It's crazy how fast it's improving. And I imagine that'll trickle into everything. If it's used as a tool, I don't mind, but completely relying on it, I feel like it's kind of irresponsible. I feel like then you get like a very sanitized product, but who knows what the future will bring. I'm basing everything about what I know about it now. I'm not thinking fourth dimensionally. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely improved since then. In a weird way, those wonky videos are kind of endearing. They're like surreal, like almost like you're seeing a glimpse of someone's dream. You must be out in the country. I can if I get the flight done in time. I didn't see how long this one is. I hope I don't have to stop this one abruptly. But if I'm still flying, like, and I have time after this flight's done, I'll definitely visit there. But yeah, you can. I would have went there if I would have known sooner, because I was trying to figure out where to go. I couldn't decide. I just wanted like a chill stream where I was just like piloting from one place to another, nothing too fancy. I hope the runway I picked is long enough. Worst comes to worst, I can pick a different one. I'll try not to. Yeah, it's really cool. You can pretty much fly anywhere in the world. It like uses satellite data. Crazy they released a game like this on PlayStation. I think that's even crazier than it being originally an Xbox game. I never thought that we would get something like this cool, like on console. Like, I had the PC version of 2020. Although I will say the PC version's a lot easier because you don't have to remember that many combinations because you have the whole keyboard. I feel like this version is more stable though, which I heard wasn't the case at launch with this game. But maybe it's better that the PlayStation version came out later. But yeah, Halo's coming out on PlayStation this year, which is kind of crazy. It'll be like Mario coming on PlayStation. I was kind of hoping they were going to release Halo Infinite because I really didn't get to play it that much. So that would have been a game I wouldn't have mind playing on PlayStation 5. But they want to do that remake of the first game's campaign, which is fine. That campaign was really fun. And Starfield's coming out in a week or so, which is pretty nuts. But I had a feeling that would eventually come to PlayStation. I know it got mixed reviews, but I want to play it on my own. I think I would enjoy the shipbuilding aspect on its own. Like anything that has like a creative component. I'll be honest with you, I'm surprised they didn't. Didn't they release 4 on PC? I bet that's confusing if they did with all the PC players because you don't get any of the backstory. And 4 kind of assumes you know everything about the characters. Now I heard Sony's going to stop releasing their exclusives beside the multiplayer ones, but we'll see. This economy's crazy, especially with PlayStation prices going up. They're going to try to make their money back somehow. I don't know. Sony's ownership in the last 2 years has been really weird. I think it's kind of hurt them. Yeah, like the collection for PS5. I mean, that's cool they get some version, but yeah, both those games kind of expect you to know the history from Uncharted, like 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. Like late PlayStation 3, early PS4 timeline, like the leadership was awesome. They were really doing all the right things. And then they tried to jump on all the trends and stuff when they switched leadership, which hurt it. Especially with the online stuff, which I'm not against, but it shouldn't be the only thing out there. Plus, not everyone has like a super fast internet connection, or even a decent slow one that's consistent. Yeah. I think a lot of companies were doing that at the time. Obviously, they're stopping now because people got angry and it was hurting sales. I mean, it's fine if you're like targeting a certain like age group or whatever, but I don't like being treated like I'm not an adult. Like I can make up my own choice, just rate the game. It's like when I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to watch R-rated movies until I was old enough. It should be like the guardian's responsibility to decide what's appropriate for their kid. But I guess as a creator, you can do whatever you want. But are you doing it for the right reasons? That's the question. Yeah. I mean, that was the whole reason for the rating system. Kind of funny how that always cycles. That was just like the more contemporary version of like in the 90s when they were showing like Night Trap and Mortal Kombat and stuff. It's kind of crazy though how Nintendo has been more lenient with things than Sony over time. But maybe that's Sony of like America or whatever. Maybe Japan's different. Just like Nintendo of America allowed things or didn't allow things or didn't allow things that Nintendo of Japan would or wouldn't. Like when I play the Castlevania collection, I tend to prefer the Japanese games, not only because like some of them have better sound chips, like Castlevania 3, but yeah, they're less censored. They have like blood in them, and they're not missing things out of the background. Nice volumetric clouds. Always nice to see. It's not a 2D decal that just rotates. Alright, let's look where we are real quick. This plane isn't as fast as I'd like it to be. Alright. Let's look at the flight planner. Let me remember the button combination to activate it. Yeah. A lot of the times they were overly difficult when they came here because they tried to like prevent people from renting games. So like a lot of the Konami games in Japan are more fair, or they had more time to program for it, or the Famicom was more accepting of like special chips and stuff like that, the way it was built. One thing I don't like about that system though is the controllers are hardwired into the system. They're not very long either, the cords. Oh, we're closer than I thought. Never mind. It's cool that they give you a little tablet. Yeah, I usually play the Japanese version of Dynamite Heady. A lot more fun because it's more forgiving. And Streets of Rage 3, yeah, that's a lot easier too. I felt way less disappointed than when I did when I originally played the North American version when I rented it because I love Streets of Rage 2. I always thought the graphics were kind of worse in Streets of Rage 1. I don't know. They tried to do like a different style. I don't know. It looks grainy. I can't explain it. Like maybe they're trying the dithering technique and it just looks weird if you don't play it on a CRT. And I haven't in years. But like super sharp. Like, I don't know. It looks kind of harsh compared to Streets of Rage 1 and 2. Still a cool game though, especially the Japanese bare knuckle version. And then like you said, Dynamite Heady was better too. Treasure. I wish more people knew about Treasure. It'd be cool if one day they released a Treasure compilation. Yeah, that game is really fun from the little bit I played of it. I'm not good at shooters, but it's beautiful, and I like the different colors and everything that you have to use to like skip projectiles. I think I'm thinking of the right game. I think they had a version on the Xbox 360, which makes me wonder if there's a PC version. I try to buy like all the old games officially just to let the developer know that there's things that I want. I'm flying and trying to drink coffee at the same time. Yeah, get a plane with autopilot with a restroom in it. There you go. Pretty soon with self-driving cars, you could do it and get like a bus, like a tour bus, and I'll have like a kitchen and a bathroom in the back. That'd be pretty dope. I think I'd rather a hollowed out tour bus than a camper. Seems like you'd have more room to work with. My plane unfortunately does not have a bathroom. Guess you just gotta open the door and go out the window. Hopefully you don't get sucked out. There's Maryland, so we're getting close. I think I've definitely been to that airport before. I remember I went to Florida and it was like 100 degrees. It was hot out, and it was winter time. And I went to and I had to go back home. And we just picked Maryland because the tickets were cheaper and just drove back the way. I just remember it being freezing after being in 100-degree weather because it was snowing when we went back to Baltimore. It was kind of surreal. No, I haven't. There's a lot of places I would like to visit. Maybe one day. I'd be shocked if this area wasn't 3D scanned. Those houses look kind of generic, though. Yeah, same here. Trying to push myself out of my comfort zone. I did when I was younger, but then I got back in the habit of being like an old man again. Now I got to get back out of the habit. But yeah, I totally understand being a homebody or introvert, which I'm both. Part of the reason why I stream because it helps me get out of my comfort zone a little bit, because I used to just make videos and talk to myself and then call it commentary. I think that's DC over there. We can take a detour and traveled all this way. Ah, 2015. That was a crazy year. A lot going on. Sometimes it's weird to like go back to watch an old video and you remember, and you suddenly like remember stuff you thought you forgot about that you start talking about in your video. So it's kind of cool. It's almost like a video diary. Yeah, and at the time, a lot of those times seem really difficult, and then as time goes on, you become nostalgic about the difficult times, like it was a better time. It's funny how the mind works. I wonder if I'll be nostalgic about this time at some point. Did I accidentally stumble across some ruins? Maybe they haven't loaded in yet. Hey Ben, what's up? Sure is. I haven't thrown up once. Yeah. That's a lot of people's favorite, like, Burnout game. The remaster is so quick. It looks like the game's in fast forward. Alright, it looks like everything's starting to load in. I bet these are expensive places. Somebody's gonna correct me, and it's like, that's a demilitarized zone. Look, it's Target. It'd be funny if the Target actually has a Target on their roof. Oh, this is where the good stuff is. I love going to the Smithsonian. I remember when they had like the Star Wars exhibit with like a lot of the props, and I missed it. Yeah, Revenge is really cool. It has like that, like a neon look to it, like with the bloom lighting and everything. And that's the one I remember, like, truly, especially on the 360, and I imagine the PC, if they had a port. I think there's a PS2 version as well that was pretty good. But that's when they really had, like, really good crash physics. You can tell they rendered that from scratch. I haven't been to all the Smithsonian buildings. I need to rectify that. I know the Air and Space Museum now has like an X-Wing I think they got from episode 9. Maybe they got it from Force Awakens. I don't remember when they put it in. So maybe it was 7. But it's kind of cool. They have one of the more recent X-Wings in there. I think it's the newer style though. That doesn't have like the 4 engines. It just has the 2 that are split. Man, I sound nerdy. We're going too fast. We gotta slow down gradually, I guess. Where's the strip we're supposed to get to? There it is. Good, this is slowing us down somewhat. This plane accelerates too quickly. We're just gonna land here even though we don't have permission. I'm sure they'll get over it. Plane's so heavy it has to go fast to stay up. This is bad. But maybe they'll line us up perfectly next time. What in the world? We pulled it off. I'm sure those landing gears are probably messed up. But hooray. Is there any specific area you want me to visit? If you're still there, I can put in the coordinates. Okay, I'll just put this one in. .39.7173. Okay, comma, -86. You know, it'd be nice right now, a keyboard. $2944. All right. Where are all the icons? So I know it's an airport. There we go. Let me make sure this thing has fuel, even though it doesn't look like that long of a flight. But I don't know how zoomed out I am, too. Good thing I checked. All right. Hopefully this is overcast and not rain. Oh, they didn't start me at the runway? And the landing gear's out. What's that all about? That's what it looks like now, but let's fix this up a little bit. Get my booster chair. Seems like it's windy over here and the plane's bouncing like there's some turbulence. What is that thing? put all the tall buildings close together. There's Chase Bank. I think this building had a logo on it too. I don't think those vehicles know where the road is. I'd be terrified to drive here. Wonder if I can land on this highway. I'm glad these are ghost cars. I think that was information from the last flight, but okay. Kind of wish free flight would start out like this. You have to take like the little covers off. Oh, I gotta take the static port cover off. My bad. This one's in the back. Okay, this is a field. Luckily, we're landing at the next airport. Hopefully, that's not a field too. Before we get started, let's adjust the camera. We want between 70 to 74, at least with this plane. Good enough.
Hey, Cap, Karen here. Thanks for stepping up for this ferry flight. This DA-62 has to get to Placid Lakes as soon as possible. The owner's aircraft was in for maintenance, and now that it's fixed, he wants it flown back. Mr. Agiapong, the owner, is expecting you at the destination on time. Fly safely.
Well, he can wait.
Foxtrot 1 tree traffic. Max 09 Golf Papa Romeo Tree 4 is taxiing to runway tree 6. Foxtrot 1 tree.
Which way is the runway? Jeez, I hope this is enough room. Now that song's gonna be stuck in my head all day, GB. Makes me think of Anchorman whenever I hear that song. Like, afternoon delight, and that one guy's like, boo. Alright, I think this is enough to climb, hopefully. It's stuck in my head, it must be good. Alright. Sometimes I realize I don't realize how fast I'm going until I'm in first person. I'm like, oh shit, I better slow down. Yeah, I can imagine us picking up a lot of speed on this non-paved runway with this particular plane as well. Alright, come on. Yeah, I got it. Is it from the 70s or early 80s? It sounds more like a 70s song. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Plus, now that I'm thinking about it, if it's on Anchorman, yeah, of course it was. Because we know how accurate of a period piece that movie was. That makes sense. Especially in the context of the movie. Yeah, because early 70s is more like the 60s almost music-wise. Was still in that transition phase. Placid Lakes. They have a giant alligator in one of them. I think I've actually driven through this area before. If I remember correctly, there's like a bunch of oranges on the median. Why buy oranges when you can just get them off the side of the road anytime you want? You're not supposed to, but they're just gonna rot. Yeah. I'm kind of like that with specific things I grew up with. Usually you have like a memory association with those things. Yeah. Definitely not early 70s, because like I said, the music sounds more like 60s than the early 70s. Kind of like early 80s sounds kind of 70s-ish. Or late 70s-ish. Still kind of had like that disco sound a little bit. I remember being on a plane and the sun was hitting directly where I was sitting. I swear if I didn't put that visor down, I was going to get sunburnt. I'm sure the windows have like UV protection, but it was getting uncomfortable. Especially when there's like no clouds. And just right up there. And then the person in front of you like opens up their window and blinds you. Nothing like being stuck in a tube with a bunch of unlikable people. They're probably saying the same thing about me. I've flown several times. I've never used the restroom, and I'm kind of curious about them. I only see them in movies. I bet it's tiny. Yeah, like that dude that needs to have his own private jet. Man, that guy was creepy. The dude looks like he's possessed with those eyes. When they interviewed him, that kind of made me uncomfortable with the way he was talking. What's crazy is he used to come on the afternoon when I was a kid. Maybe he just got a little bit crazier when he got older. I don't know. I don't remember seeing that as a kid, getting that vibe. I guess money changes people. It's just a gradual process. I remember his was one of the shows I had to sit through before cartoons would start. The one talking about like a tube filled with demons or whatever. I can't remember what his name is. I hope this wasn't for a fire extinguisher that's missing. Yeah, that's what his name is. Yeah, he used to come on all the time as a kid, and I saw that interview. I was like, oh my goodness. Like, did Inside Edition use special effects for his eyes or something? Just his mannerisms of how he said it. Like, why don't they put him in a horror movie? And he was talking about what a good deal the jet was. And he also has oil. Yeah. Many times. Like a train wreck, I gotta keep looking at it. I can't look away. Whenever I see it pop up in my recommended, I have to watch it at least once. The video almost looks supernatural. Yeah, that's a classic clip. It was like on the internet for a while because I think a lot of people felt like kind of weirded out by it. It's like, it wasn't necessarily what he was saying, it was just how he was saying it. Like the delivery. Because of course you're going to expect some sort of justification, but just how he was delivering it was super weird. Yeah, and he gets all close to her and starts like whispering to her a little bit. Dude looked like he was like the lost brother from People Under the Stairs or something. Yeah, it's creepy. Like, yeah, what he's saying is kind of ridiculous, but it's just the delivery of it that just makes the video. It's just so weird. He would make an excellent villain in a movie. I'm sure he wouldn't do it because of his values or whatever, but I'd hire him as like a horror movie villain. Yeah, like I said, it's like almost Inside Edition because I think that's what it was on. Like CGI'd his eyes, they like got all big and wide, and then he was whispering with a smile. It's like, listen. Like he didn't even want to hear like his buddies. He didn't want his buddies to hear the shit he was gonna say. Yeah. Oh, good. That makes it better. So therefore, you should have a jet too. We got it. Super common. Like you got all this money. Why are you asking us for it? Yeah. Wasn't it Tyler Perry, I think he said he bought it from. Like, oh, it's a good deal. You couldn't pass up on it. Yeah. It's only 25 million. Practically a steal. I don't know how much he paid for it, but I'm sure it was quite expensive even at a discount. Yeah. Chump change. That's basically one collection plate. One telethon. I don't think he prayed hard enough. Yeah, especially after seeing that plane video. You know the forces of good are more than likely on his side. I wish they interviewed the lady afterwards so they could so she could talk about how she felt. I bet there was a moment where she like questioned if she's gonna survive that interview. Yeah. Gonna be like that dude that like had like the he had like that microphone or the earpiece in his ear where you pick out people and they tell him about the guests because I think they filled out like paperwork or something ahead of time and he got busted for it. I know. Unfortunately, I haven't mastered playing this blindfolded yet. But since I'm not using like face cam, Butterbite wouldn't see me blindfolded anyway. And you just get frustrated and like just shovel in the borscht or goulash, whatever he chose to eat. Yeah, that video was mind blowing, especially since like I said, I didn't grow up with him per se, but I always saw him on TV because he always came on before cartoons. I gotta slow the F down. Although this plane, I think, can hit the runway at a higher speed since it's heavy. Oh no, my wings are gonna bust off. I feel like I'm at the mercy of gravity right now. Oddly, the plane feels more stable in cockpit mode. Holy shit.
09er Foxtrot Alpha traffic. Max 09 Golf Papa Romeo.
I need to be asking him for money.
Runway tree 6 to land. 09er Foxtrot Alpha.
Yeah. He's not going to be happy with the condition of his plane. Alright. I think I was manhandling it because I was nervous because I haven't landed this properly yet. Yeah, I haven't heard much about him since that video went viral. I wonder if he still has like a show. This was like the 700 Club alternative. Yeah, they just sat at the table the whole time. I think eventually he had one on stage. I just remember before cartoons, I'd watch them and they'd be like in front of that bowl of fake fruit. Yeah, I'm nervous as hell every time I land, Steve. I never get used to it. And I have almost 100 hours in this game. Although a lot of those hours were just like figuring things out and messing around, but playing it properly, yeah, I get nervous. Sometimes your eyes trick you. You really gotta pay attention to the instruments. And you think you're like higher or closer to the ground, it can really throw you off. And every plane requires you to hit the runway at a different speed. And when you're used to riding multiple planes, it can throw you off. Like this one's a bit heavier, so this one doesn't glide as easier as the lighter planes. Because it's a 2-engine one. Which I had to get a certification for. I have to get more certifications. I eventually want to be able to fly passengers around. Like in a commercial, like, airliner. That's the dream. And maybe fight some fires. That would be cool. Was that the lady that was with her? With them, because her name sounds familiar. And be like, you can follow along if you buy our book right here for $49.99. Is that the lady with the big hair? I remember there was some lady that had like huge hair.
Thanks for your hard work.
suddenly made me think of Creep Show at the end of Stephen King, where like it's in the morning and the church show is on. Like, forgive me, Father. Oh, Jordy, you done it now. Meteor shit. I don't know where to go now. I haven't even seen the difficulty with that many stars. I imagine it's a long ass flight. Oh, 15 minutes. That's perfect. Actually, I appreciate it telling me how long the flights will take. That's perfect for planning out streams and walking the dog. Can't wait till they give me more places besides just Florida, mostly. Alright, those are some ominous looking clouds. Can't wait to fly through them. What plane are we using today? This one glides fairly decently. Alright, let's make sure it has enough fuel. Even though it's a 15-minute flight, I know they're practically going to give me fumes. I mean, this should be enough. This plane looks like a RC plane. Is he taller than the plane? Like the power wheels of planes. Now I'm flying for real. That's it. It doesn't even have anything else to take off. Well, this almost looks like the interior of the Red Bull plane. It's so basic. It's a fiberglass shell. All right.
Ready for boarding, John. Okay, on their way.
I got doors like a DeLorean. That's something.
Cap, I'm sure you knew when you woke up this morning.
Just the engine turning on. Hate the plane go forward.
You're taking a nearby worker, Charlotte, by her own, for a nice scenic ride over the region. Has your passenger fastened her seatbelt? Then you're ready to depart. Let's do it. X-ray 06 traffic. Max 09 Victor Hotel India 8512 is taxiing to runway 6, X-ray 06.
So many memories in this area. Flying over all these familiar places is going to
Fly my power wings.
I'm Charlotte, by the way.
Ugh, this plane's so small I can smell their breath. You just had to eat a Whopper with cheese before you came in here. Just getting bashed in the face with onions constantly. Oh look, there's a hole in the ozone layer. The plane looked kind of cool on the outside, but it looks super generic in the inside. They didn't even bother to pad like anything in case I bash my head.
X-ray 06 traffic. Max 09 Victor Hotel India 8512. Taking off runway 6. South departure. X-ray 06.
Push us back to 70. Gotta remember all these button combinations for this game. As soon as you get off the plane. Alright, why is this not going suddenly? There we go. Crush, this wheel wasn't rotated all the way around. Okay, which way are we going up? Okay, initial climb. Got it. Slowly turn this around. Okay. This is like a shopping cart wheel. It's just got to be rotated all the way around. Yep. There we go. I can see this is why this was one of the more cheaper planes to purchase. It's quick though.
I could get used to this.
Me not being able to get out of the runway didn't discourage you at all. This hobby aircraft. And more air.
By the way, look at this spectacular view. You should charge admission.
Yeah. I can see that. I remember being really intimidated by flying, but I used to love flying games, but when I finally flew, it was actually surprisingly smooth. There's a little bit of turbulence and like the flight back home, but overall it was smooth. And then actually flown in a helicopter where we went sightseeing, like in the Florida Keys, looking for sharks and stuff. And he was dipping down and stuff. And I can't stand roller coasters, but it was so smooth. It didn't bother me at all. So I was surprised about that. So sometimes you never know until you do it. It's kind of weird because there's like a weightlessness to it. So I guess you don't feel the height as much. I can't explain it. Yeah, I can understand it being stressful. Because the lady beside me during the whole flight, one of my first flights, by the way, so it was terrifying because I'm like, maybe she knows something that I don't. She's like clasping onto her rosary, praying when we had turbulence. Was making me nervous. I'm like, what does she know that I don't? I thought this was normal. When you get up to a certain height in the plane, everything just looks like a quilt.
I don't know why I waited so long to do this.
Unless you're flying in like a small plane or something, you usually don't fly this low. The only time you see stuff is like when you're landing or taking off. I wonder if the storm was programmed for this part. I think it's procedurally generated though. Looks like a mean storm though. It'd be cool if you saw like flashes of lightning in the distance. I saw a tornado once. That was pretty cool. Yeah, it looks like rain's coming down. I don't know how well it shows up on stream, but it definitely looks like a layers of fog that's usually like rain.
Look, that's my workplace.
Ooh, how exciting. I'm guessing those are your parachute pants too. The little elastic bands at the cuff, not the waist. I can't be bothered with a belt.
All the cliches about everything being more beautiful from the air are
The elastic is freeing.
Over here, check this out. Everything I see makes a great photo.
How are you talking without moving your mouth? She's speaking through her nostrils. It's impressive. Wish I knew parlor tricks like that.
Wait, over there. Everything is in such sharp focus from here.
Wow, I'm right at the final. Luckily, this thing slows down fairly quickly because it's light.
X-ray 06 traffic. Max 09 Victor Hotel India 8512. Tremont Southwest.
Try to keep this in the 70s, upper 60s. I think this plane needs to be at low 60s or 50s to land without damage. The other plane, you can almost hit the runway at almost 80.
Everyone's back home about this.
Welcome back, aviators. Are you okay, Charlotte? Ready to give it a go again?
Totally doing it again.
No, he was the worst pilot. He mocked me the whole time. He made fun of my parachute pants. Always have to use my right hand to reach over the analog stick to push left on the D-pad to announce my position.
India 8512 is on final. Runway 6 to land. X-ray 06.
And a buttery smooth landing for a perfect finish.
Yep, all me. Definitely didn't need these markers to help me at all.
X-ray 06 traffic. Max 09 Victor Hotel India 8512.
Oh, let me
Taxi to parking.
put the flaps on the lowest so we don't accidentally take off. I think Dune Man's speeding that little vehicle. Wonder what that plane's like to fly. Cut in half. Oh, well, decapitation maybe. Alright. Luckily these are ghosts from Airports Pass.
To see her own region from a new perspective. Looks like she enjoyed it. That was a great flight seeing session.
You're welcome. Ho ho ho. Making big bucks. I need to start flying my own plane. I just want to fly these as an employee so I get used to landing so I don't break my plane. It's better when they pay for their stuff. Once I get more confident, we'll start using FAA flights again so we can work on more certifications. Also, I want more than one plane in my fleet. But anyway, I have to stop here for now to take the dog out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully I'll talk to you on the next one. Take care. Bye.